Hello guys, welcome back to another video. Today we are talking about the time that I got pulled over by the cops. Well, not even technically pulled over, I was already parked. So let's jump right in. This starts off by me and my homie deciding that we are going to smoke. I go scoop him, and he lives right next to a park. We decide that we're going to park up in this park in the back, because we just don't want to be seen. The park closes at 10 p.m. It's like 1 in the morning. So we go to the back of this park, we start rolling up. Now, mind you, my car has two 12-inch subwoofers, and we are bumping music. And the thing that I forgot to, think about was that there's a cop who lives right behind this park, like right next to my homie and shit. And we just, didn't think about it, just rolling up this wood, you know. It's my last little bit of weed too. I had gotten like $4,000, like from inheritance, and I ended up buying like a half pound and 2 ounces of wax, Puffco, just a whole bunch of stuff. You know, I start rolling up this blunt. It's a little struggle wood. It's not the fattest wood. How everyone usually smokes, and we're just chilling there. I'm rolling it up, getting ready to spark it, and my homie goes, "Cops," and I dismiss it because he's the type of guy who we would be driving around trying to smoke, just not giving a fuck, and he'd just be like, "Cops, cops, cops," and there'd be no one near us. So it's like a boy who cried wolf situation. If y'all have ever heard of that story, which I hope you have, everyone past second fucking grade has heard it. But he ended up saying like, "Cops," and I'm just like, shut the fuck up, JJ. There's no one there. He goes, "Dude, there's cops." I look to my right while as I'm about to put this blunt in my mouth and start like inhaling it, and I see cops. I'm like, fuck, because I see like 4 flashlights walking towards us. I'm like, fuck. He goes, "Bro, I told you." And then his window's already down, and they come up to his windows first. They're like, "What are we doing tonight, boys?" I said, "Well, we're smoking, officer. I mean," he goes, "That is what it appears to be." So I hand over my blunt right away. I'm just like, well, he already sees it. It's in my hand. I'm just frozen with the blunt in my hand. Just so fucking scared because I knew what I had in my car. The cop goes, "Well, you guys are here smoking. It's 2 in the morning. If you wouldn't be playing loud music, it wouldn't be really much of a problem." Um, he pops out, my homie, and pops me out of the car. They search us, and he goes, "Would you mind if I search the car?" At this point, they already have probable cause, bro. They're gonna search the car regardless if you want them to or not. So I'm just like, you know what, fuck it. I don't even know what I got in there, but you guys can look. They start tearing apart my car, bro. They're in the back seat. They start putting like, dude, there's like multiple things. They start putting stuff on the roof. They put, I had like a fucking 3-5 bag of just roaches. I had edibles, 2 ounces of wax. I had my Puffco, my bong. I had my little dab thing, which is literally right here next to me right now. I just picked it up. I still have it because they didn't realize what it was and they didn't look in it. But it lets me do dabs still, so that's awesome. We're standing there. I'm just in awe. Everything that they're taking out. I was like, bro, there's no way. There's no way I'm about to lose all this fucking shit, dude. It was worth like $500 everything they pulled out. They're pulling out. What else did they pull out? They pulled out some. It was some. Fuck, man. Pulled out some weird shit. Oh, yeah. So when they had taken out like everything in the back, they'd moved to the front. And since they moved to the front, they went into my center console. And at this point, your boy's fucking. So I had like lubes and condom. Stay safe. Everyone practice safe sex. That's I preach that. Don't unless you're with that person for life. Practice safe sex. Or if they have like birth control or something, practice safe sex. I I I didn't think about it at the time, but these cops had just like looked at each other. They had pulled it out of my center console and they looked at each other because there was two cops on each side of the door, driver and passenger side. They look at each other straight in the eyes with the lube and condoms in hand. And I'm just like, did they think I was gonna fuck my homie out here? Like, like I didn't know like what they thought was going to go on because lube and condoms like seems a little gay. He they put it back in there because that's not fucking evidence, bro. And they stopped searching it. They take everything on the top. They said, "Hey, do you get a plastic bag?" was like, yeah, so I popped my trunk. They were like, can we search your trunk? I was like, you know, in Illinois, you don't have to search my trunk. I didn't know what the fuck was in my trunk. There probably wasn't anything, but, you know, I still said no because fuck that. They said, all right, you know, I gave them a plastic bag just to, you know, just be nice, you know, always be respectful when you're dealing with cops because they can make your life a living hell. And I feel like, you know, it's part of the reason why we got, you know, off with it. And you know, if you always make a joke, they'll always, you know, joke back with you. And you know, because it's a stressful thing, you know, for them because they don't know what they're gonna find in your car. And well, you sometimes don't know what they're gonna find in your car. But you know, I had like empty fireball shots and stuff, and I just said it was my older brother's, even though it was definitely me. I definitely drank those fireball, but I didn't give a fuck. I didn't want to take that. I was like, it's my older brother. You know, he sometimes uses this, and they're empty, so they don't really pin it on me. They ended up taking my bong. It was nice. I think it was a 14 or 16-inch beaker bong. It had I ended up taking my $80 like it has like a claw. The bowl has a claw on it. I've wanted one of those since I was 10 years old, and I seen like smoking videos. Like I used to watch this person, Dakota Page. They would make fire videos. They would do unboxing, and you know, hopefully, you know, your boy gets to do that. But you know, I took my bowl out. I left it at home, but I was using some cheap ass bowl I got from the shop, and we're smoking. Not smoking, sorry. We weren't smoking, and they take the stuff and they go try to break it in this trash can. Apparently, this bong, I mean, it was definitely made in America because I'm in like American class, but I found out, you know, I watched this guy, he drops it into this trash can. After he drops it into the trash can, he picks it back up and goes, huh, it didn't fucking shatter. Then he puts it in the bag I gave him, along with everything else, the Puffco, all that shit. And he goes, we'll just break it with the hammer later. I'm like, oh, dude, you understand how bad that hurts my soul. He takes the bong and comes back to the car. He goes, well, you do realize we can charge you with DUI? I'm just like, what? You know, you guys didn't even let me, like, fucking smoke my blunt. Like, I had just put it to my lips and couldn't even inhale because, you know, I froze. And they're like, well, we'll just let you off with a warning, but, you know, don't do this again. I'm like, bro, like, at that time, I was, like, shaking. Like, I was shaking because I was so scared because, you know, how am I supposed to know what they're gonna find in my car? You know, like the amount of shit I had in there. I didn't know what they were fully gonna find, but I had an idea. So they said, well, we can let you off with a warning. You know, we could charge you with the DUI. I'm just like, no, no, no. I didn't even get to smoke. They're like, okay. I was like, so they're like, can you drive home? I'm like, yeah, I'm not high at all. They're like, okay, well, don't come to the park. You know, the park's closed after 10. I'm just like, there's no way. Now, there's going to be people in the comments saying that, you know, oh, you know, what, like, were you white? Did you have white privilege? No, white privilege is some bullshit. My homie was black sitting next to me, bro. You know, they let him go, too. They checked both of our names. Nothing came back. So they're just like, well, these are just some dumb kids, you know, just trying to smoke what normal teenagers do. But, you know, these edibles, and like, back to the edibles that they took, these edibles were insane. Like, you would take two and be high for 2 days, and I have a high fucking tolerance. Like, I was going through ounces of wax in, like, 2 weeks, and smoking zips in, like, a day or two. So I was, like, had a high time. So it was really, like, when I lost these edibles, it was sad as fuck. You know, I didn't buy any more because it's not worth it. I only had them because they were given to me. But, you know, they they end up saying, you know, you guys can leave. They end up walking away. The way this park is set up is it's a circle. So there's a lake in the middle, and then there's like a path around it. What I think they came from the like very far side parking lot, walked around just so we didn't leave because if we would have saw them, we would have left. Because I'm usually good about spotting cops, but they hid so well. They hid so fucking well that I couldn't like escape them, but. You know, it is what it is. You learn your lesson. I never smoked in that park again late at night. I mean, I would smoke there at like 9 p.m., like do some dabs before I go to work because my job was like a fucking minute down the road. But I would sit there, smoke a little bit like before 10 p.m. because I'm just like, I don't want to have that happen again, bro. we ended up deciding, hey, enough was enough for tonight, because it was like an hour and a half that they like decided to stay and search us and talk to us. It was a long ass hour and a half. He's like, you know what, dude, I'm gonna go home. I'm just like, that's fair, bro. So I ended up going home. I checked my car to see if I have anything left in there, and like I said, that green thing that I can do my dabs with, it's a little nectar collector, a honey straw. I don't know what anyone calls it. I really don't know the name, but I still have it. Still has dabs in it. Not from that night, of course. That was like a fucking year and a half ago. But um, that's the stories, ladies and gentlemen. Don't get caught by the cops. Don't do dumb stuff. If there's a sign posted, don't be there to past 10 p.m. Don't be there at 1 in the morning or 2 in the morning, because they're gonna get you, especially if a cop lives right next to the fucking park. All right, guys. Well, that's the video. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed.